What's up everybody, Coach Ernesto here from KP Futsal. Today, I'm going to tell you all about what is futsal. Futsal is the official indoor game of FIFA. It's played on a hard surface on a court that's normally about the size of a basketball court but a little bigger. The game is also played with a smaller, lower bounce ball and with smaller goals. Futsal is a quick-paced game with boundaries as touchlines. There are no walls. There are no offsides, and futsal also offers a long list of benefits that's going to help in player development for any soccer player. So make sure you stick to the end of the video to find out if futsal is for you. It's believed that in the 1930s, a coach in Uruguay by the name of Juan Carlos Siriani, who had an 11-a-side football team, wanted to come inside during the winter months to train. And at that time, he just set up some goals in a gym, and that's where the original futsal is believed to have started. If we go down to Brazil, right about the same time as well in the 1930s, we also have what could have developed into futsal, and what many people believe also that turned into what is futsal today, was the Brazilians who started to play street soccer, outdoor and indoor, basically anywhere they could. But that small-sided game is what became known as futsal. So little by little, Uruguay and Brazil being close to each other, obviously the game kind of intertwined there, and little by little, by the 1940s and 1950s, Brazil took futsal to a whole new level. Brazil was also the first country to produce and publish futsal rules. But it was Brazil who became a powerhouse in football and gave much of their credit to the street soccer or the street futsal, or what is now known today as futsal. Today, futsal is played all over the globe. It's played in Europe, it's played in South America, North America, Asia, India, all over the place. You're going to find futsal. There are over 100 professional futsal leagues. Europe now has their Futsal Champions League. There's a Futsal World Cup. There's here in the United States alone, there are some semi-pro leagues, but there are over 100 registered youth futsal leagues for kids, where it's most popular from because it's used as a tool to develop outdoor soccer players. All right, so what is the difference between soccer or football and futsal? Well, there's several. I mean, it's a completely different game, but obviously there's a lot of similarities to it. Let's start out with the equipment and the facilities. Obviously, if we're looking at equipment, futsal is played with a smaller ball. The ball has a lower bounce. The goals are smaller in futsal at 2 by 3 meters. In terms of the facilities, obviously futsal is played on a hard surface. The court is smaller. The size of the teams are smaller. We have 5v5 in futsal. We have 11 against 11 in soccer. We'll talk about the professional leagues. In futsal, there's unlimited substitution. Obviously, in football, you only have a certain amount of, depending on what league or tournament you're playing in, there's a limited amount of substitutions you can have. In futsal, players have to play both offense and defense, where in outdoor soccer, you can get away with a little bit more, less defense or more offense. Let's talk about the rules and the differences in between futsal and soccer. In futsal, you have to play the ball back in with your feet. In soccer, you can obviously throw it back in. In futsal, the goalie always has what we call a goal throw to play the ball back in. In soccer, you might have the goal kick. In futsal, you have about 4 seconds to play the ball back in. In soccer, you might have unlimited time depending on the referee and other situations. There is one specific rule, which is the pass back to the keeper in futsal, which is a little complicated maybe for this video, but it's one thing that's different from futsal and soccer. So one of the questions I get a lot is, what is one good reason my kids should be playing futsal? Well, futsal demands so much more from every player. Every single player, including the goalie, defenders, offensive players, it doesn't matter which player it is. If you're on the court, it's going to demand a ton from you. Futsal offers tight spaces and forces players to be quick. There's no boundaries. Futsal forces the player to be quick, forces the player to have good ball control. There's no walls to help out the player. The player is always caught in tight spaces. The game demands more touches from every player. It's going to demand that the player have higher skills. It's going to demand that the player have quicker decision making. It's going to improve the decision making of each player. There's going to be more shots. There's going to be more goals. There's going to be more defending. There's just going to be more interaction between players, the ball, and the opponent. All this combined is going to offer a faster speed of play for every player that's involved in futsal. And that's the reason why it's going to help you develop quicker and become a better soccer player outdoor once you get outside. So now that you know what futsal is, are you ready to play? I want you to write down in the comments if you're going to be playing or not. Also, if there's anything else that you want to know about futsal, make sure you let me know. Send me a message or write down below in the comment sections what other questions you have about futsal, and I'll do my best to answer all of them.